Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Um, I'm I'm joined by a special guest. She's she's a little bit quiet. She's a little shy. So this might be an awkward live stream. You're actually creeping me out a little bit.
Hello, everyone. Samara from the well. If you watched this video in 7 days, I'll be visiting.
Wait, wait. They were gonna guess who you
That was
were.
even funnier. They don't know it's me.
Well, I'm pretty sure they knew it was you, but you're the character from what movie again?
The Ring,
The
of
Ring.
course.
The Ring. The Ring, yes.
Tonight it'll be more like the actual ring makeup will be on me soon.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Couldn't do it
And
during the days.
can you just stand up? Because
Trying to fix my
yeah.
face.
Could you stand up and just show everybody your whole
Oh,
like
yeah, no, she's got the
wait, remember she can't they can't hear you if you don't have
uh,
that's really scary.
yeah, so tonight we have like at my house we have like we made the front of the garage into a giant television, and then it shows the ring, and then I come popping out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's really
And that way we don't
scary.
have to give out any candies. So.
Yeah, because you're gonna have the makeup and everything.
Oh yeah,
We'll need a
it's gonna be
picture
scary. It's gonna be
afterwards.
scary.
We'll need
It's
a
gonna be
picture.
scary.
Um, that's really scary. But I'm dressed up as the scariest monster of all. An empowered woman. See, I'm Rosie the Riveter. Got my Rosie tag here. I got my outvoted. I'm like, remember she does like this?
Yep.
Or is it like this?
Either way, you're riveting. You're riveting your way into the hearts.
Of course, I Googled that this morning to make sure I had it down. And I typed in Rosie the Riveter, CO, to put costume, and then controversy comes up.
Oh, of course.
So, I mean, nothing is ever really pure, is what I've discovered. So, apparently, Rosie the Riveter is a bit of a
A controversial figure.
yeah. Well, here's the deal. I mean, I read it really quickly. I'm dressed up as sort of the spirit of what that represents, which we're a few days from an election. We're going to elect our first woman president.
Yes.
Yes. And so this is what I'm embodying today, which is why I joked it was the most scariest monster of all, an empowered woman. But I guess the controversy is that, again, shouldn't be surprising, that really it was like a marketing effort. Like the woman the picture was taken of, didn't work in a factory.
Yes.
There was a whole thing. And anyway, but it's really hard to take you seriously with that wig on. Um, but also, yeah, I did this costume. Like I whipped it up real quick. I was gonna dress up. I was gonna dress up as Kamala, but then I just looked like I was going to work. Yeah, I just looked like I was going to work.
You got a corporate job.
And so I saw a really powerful video this morning that included, lots of different images of historical women figures. And Rosie was there, and I was like, "That's it."
Excellent.
Cue the Jenim Dep.
I feel like Samara from The Ring is also an empowered woman figure.
She really is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that we can do something about these ends. Like, I think we could just do a leave-in conditioner here. You've just, you've been through a lot, sweetie.
I've been down in a well for a
yeah, no. And let me tell you, for that,
it's gross.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, you look really good.
I actually cleaned my
nightgown
for the show today because usually it's muddy and
oh right. So
tonight it'll be muddy again.
Tonight it'll be muddy. Yeah.
It's gonna be muddy again.
No, I mean, actually, I'm not going to tell you what to do. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but honestly, I think you could pull this look off like on a regular day. So
I also like only being able to see out of one eye. I feel sort of goth. Tonight is the night that I fall in love with you.
For those that just joined, just do the thing again where you just had it all in the front.
Just joined. It was more, like,
it was,
the Ring.
Was real scared.
Coming out of the television set.
That was that one where they did a bunch of like scary things in the elevator to people, and she was just like in the corner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll stand in the corner so we can sort of emulate that. It's got to be like this corner. Yeah. Let's see. Can you see? No, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's do the whole show where you just stand there and I'll talk. And then every little while you just get a little bit closer. Oh, is that what she? Oh my God, I hope the dog doesn't start barking because he's actually really freaked out by this whole thing. How do we take ourselves seriously, guys?
We don't take too that's the whole point.
I know.
Don't take yourself too seriously and you'll do.
But if you're a client and you want to hire us, take us really serious.
Take us super serious because we've done some amazing work with case studies around the world, but that's a different podcast. You shouldn't have tuned in today. I don't want you to see me in this condition. And the thing is, if I take this wig off, which I figured, you've all seen me now. Yes. Has there been enough people that have seen me now at this point? So if I take the wig off, it looks even more ridiculous. Now I just have a nightgown on. God. Yeah, right. It's Frank in a nightgown. If you ever see me at a conference anytime or anything, you'll remember me in the nightgown. So I'll just be nightgown. So of course, welcome to our Halloween special
spectacular
edition of the Wicked Opportunities Live podcast. And we actually have some announcements today.
Sorry,
I don't have the glasses and anything.
Glasses?
Yes, mother.
The nightgown doesn't have any pockets. Are you?
Nolita's like, you look great. You could have dressed at the conference in a nightgown.
Yeah.
I could do your fireside talks in a nightgown.
This is awfully see-through. I hope you're wearing proper undergarments.
There are pants, but tonight there can't be pants on. So they'll just be, I don't know, like a
oh my God.
Spandex, something. Oh man. TMI. You don't need to know that.
Look at your glasses. You can go get them.
Yeah. Oh, no, okay.
Don't you want them?
I'll step around and go get my glasses. But hey, welcome to the Halloween edition.
I can't, but I honestly do think that the wig might need to come back because the nightgown without the wig, someone tunes in 10 minutes in, and this is whole nother situation. So for those of you just joining, this is our Halloween edition. Frank went to go get his glasses because we were a little bit too focused on the dress up today.
No, well, I can't wear the glasses and the wig.
No, totally. No, I get it. But like normally you would just have it here, but that's okay.
But so if you're just tuning in, you missed the wig part and you're wondering why Frank is wearing a nightgown. It's because I am the grandmother from Little Red Riding Hood to the
Frank is ready to share some news with everyone today on the live stream. He wanted to tell you all first.
No shame in the game. No shame in the game.
So no, we talked or we advertised that this was our Halloween episode. We're always a little unhinged at the Wicked Opportunities.
Always unhinged
live,
so it'd be Halloween,
right? Yeah. But we're especially unhinged on Halloween Day. And we thought today, in addition to talking about Frank's love of Halloween and his plans to scare the neighborhood children this evening, we thought we would also chat a little bit about what we have planned for 2025. I hate that I say that year now and I think about Project 2025 every time. It's so annoying. So sorry. What we have planned for next year for the podcast and even a little bit broader than that. But I think it's really exciting. And we always want you all to be the first to hear about these things. And, we'd love your feedback and your thoughts. But what are you doing? Are you putting it back on?
You didn't get to see me later.
Okay. Okay. All right. No. I think they saw it. That's from before.
Redo the wig again.
Okay.
So
all right.
Now I'm good.
Okay, great. Just talk that way. So I mentioned that I'm
I feel like, what was it? Thing for the.
Yes. I said that I'm the scariest thing, an empowered woman, voter or not, but mostly voter. And I'm channeling Rosie the Riveter, our faux historical figure that I found out is controversial today. But we did want to talk about empowerment today and the fact that we're going to be bringing back the podcast, the regular podcast next year. We took a bit of a break, had some other things to focus on. We're bringing it back. Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
So I'm really excited about that. We'll be here in the studio recording those. I don't know how often we'll record them. You're also going to be recording other podcasts, which I don't know if we want to share that or if we want to hold off on that little announcement. But the Wicked Opportunities podcast, the working title for next year's collection. Now, if you're not familiar, our pre-recorded podcasts that you can find, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify and Apple and all that. We have collections of those podcasts, like what's the word when
yeah, they're like
seasons.
Seasons.
Yeah, like seasons. So our first collection was really cool. It was the one where we tackled a wicked problem every month and reframed it as a wicked opportunity. And we went through CLA and a few other foresight tools in the natural foresight framework. There were 7 months in that collection and 28 episodes, and each month had a map that a graphic facilitator created for us. So that went through the 7 shifts. So if you haven't seen those, that's a great collection to dive into. Those are really evergreen pieces of content. Then I think we did the Monsters collection, which if you got our newsletter today, you'll see we're sharing the Monsters collection because obviously it's Halloween. And that one had like 3 months, I want to say, maybe 4. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's 4 months, maybe. Yeah.
But the Monsters one where we took things like the zombie apocalypse and reframed those ideas, those narratives that we have often in sci-fi that can often, sort of be a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways. And so we reframed those. And so we went through the natural foresight framework, used different tools. And then we had an artist depict the vignettes around that shift as well. And then 2 more collections. One was around foresight implementation. And we had several episodes in that collection. I was just reviewing that collection because another fun fact, we're going to be releasing the Ask a Futurist content and project synthesis. That resource is going to be amazing. So if you contributed to that project, be on the lookout because that's coming soon. We'll also have it available to have it printed and purchased that way if you want a hard copy of it or a physical copy of it. Anyway, that was an aside, but we did have a collection of podcasts where we talked about foresight implementation. The reason I've been reviewing those is because as part of the Ask a Futurist project and synthesis, we're including resources to help people think more about the questions they were asking. And then the most recent collection that we had was around the IDGs, the Inner Development Goals. So that was that collection. So next year's collection, working title, the Empowerment Collection. The Empowerment Collection. And we're excited to be highlighting several things as part of that Empowerment Collection and doing several things. And we want to talk about those things and just sort of the framework that's going to be driving it and the way we want folks to sort of think about how they approach foresight implementation, but also capacity building and complexity, and really speaks to the different, I don't want to say levels because it's not like a hierarchy, but just different places along the foresight continuum that people might find themselves. So part of this is going to be a new set of trend cards.
Yes, there's a brand new set of trend cards coming out. It's the Intentional Evolution deck. So our last one was the Creator Economy?
Yes. Yeah. So we've had Blurred Reality. We've had Creator Economy. We've been using those Creator Economy cards for a minute. Yeah, we're well overdue for another set of cards.
And they are on the way now.
Yeah, we're almost finished putting the final touches on those. So that Intentional Evolution card deck will feature, is it 30 cards?
It's 30 cards.
Yeah, across the Wicked category. So there'll be 6 trends across each one of those categories.
That's right.
5 trends.
5 trends across each category.
Right. So
of worldview, industrial science, commerce, a kedging card, which is, of course, if you know us as Kedge, pulling ourselves to where we want to be.
Yeah.
And then environmental and design.
Yeah. So those are sort of our steep categories. And I'm really excited because those trend cards have been used. Our trend cards, the previous versions, have been used everywhere from the UN to, obviously to Disney, to General Mills, really all over the world. They're very accessible. They're a great way to kickstart your scanning if you've not been doing it a long time, but also to supplement your scanning. I'm about to send a set of the creator economy trend cards, a few sets to Kelly, who is a certified foresight practitioner. She's starting a local signals club in
Excellent.
her community.
Excellent.
And so I reached out to her and I said, Kelly, would it be helpful to have some trend cards? She goes, well, I've made my own, but sure, let's supplement with some of the Wicked Opportunity trend cards. So they're great. I'm excited. Intentional evolution is going to be our most provocative set of trends.
Yep.
Can you share with them some of the trends that will be part of this trend card set?
I can certainly try.
Off the top of your dome.
Yeah.
Off the weight.
Of Samara's well-infused dome
Yes.
from the ring.
Yes.
So in this deck, of course, intentional evolution is a pattern that really speaks to us taking our own development as a species into our hands. It's not just technological, it's social, it's cultural, it's environmental, right? And
yeah, it's all those things. It's like, how do we, it's not how do we, it's like we're seeing our society and our humanity get more in the driver's seat of our, evolvement of how we develop as a species.
That's right. You never thought you would see the girl from the ring.
It's hard. I'm really, I feel like I'm holding
seriously
together a lot.
About foresight.
I feel like I get a gold star for being so focused.
I should say everything in this voice. So
we should do a still real quick so that there could be a screenshot later where you're just sitting there with your hair in the front and I do the little thing. Okay. So let's do it real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Move the mic.
Oh,
I think. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. All right.
That's a pick for later. So cards in the deck.
Yeah. So cards in the deck
includes, things like circular economy, and talking about, reuse,
right.
Recycle. Also in that deck though is like radical life extension.
Yeah. And is geoengineering
in the deck, and we talk about whether that's a good idea or not. Of course, that's how trends go. It's like, what are the positives, what are the negatives here?
So lots of great. And if you're familiar with our set of cards, we always describe the trend. We have a picture on the back. We have a wicked push and a wicked pull, a more closer in representation of that trend, and then a more provocative idea. And then our catching cards are mini scenarios. So these cards are extremely helpful in any toolkit. And I'm really excited to have a new set out for everyone to use. We use them with our clients all the time. They're a staple for us. And so we cannot wait to have those be in your hands. They'll be available for digital download. And then if you prefer, I think they're super helpful to have physical copies of. So we usually print thousands of these sets and we'll have those available as well in our shop. So look for those. Now, the podcast is going to have us go through those 30 trend cards, right? We're going to go one by one.
Yes.
So I think what'll be great is that the podcast will be very timely. It'll be talking about our thought leadership around some of these topics.
Yeah.
But we're not going to stop at just talking about the trend because we don't do that here. We don't just talk about trends. We go way further than that.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to only use the trend and the podcast as a jumping off point.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to spend an entire podcast talking about 30 different trends. We want to do something much more amazing. And that's why, we're calling this the empowerment edition, because we're linking this specifically to that sort of that second phase of the work that we do. If you break our work into, and you'll see more of this in 2025, into future ready, future empowered, and future conscious, so it sort of spans the entire spectrum of the work that we do, then this future empowered.
I'm so sorry. It's very hard with the wig on. It's very hard. I promise.
I'm actually getting into
the
fact that Samara is, just giving the forecast report here.
I'm gonna stop looking at you and I'm just looking at the camera.
Then nobody's taking me serious right now, but this is serious stuff, people. This is serious stuff. What's everybody's problem today?
Yeah, no, I think and I want to keep going down this path of the future ready, future empowered, and future conscious.
Yeah. So again, the name of the podcast series is Empowerment Collection.
Yeah.
And so it sort of fits in that second bucket of future empowered. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but this is why this is so important, because we're not going to just be talking about the trend, but we're going to be talking about how we actually grab the DNA out of that trend and the opportunities and potentially, the downfalls, the pitfalls as well. And then what would that trend look like, not in its manifestation today, but moving further out in time, like a Horizon 2 and a Horizon 3 concept. And so to do that, we'll also be using the idea of transformational mapping. And so each episode is going to be really cool like that, because it's going to be able to say, like, trends are trends, right?
Yeah.
Here's how to do actual futures work, and here's what it means for us today in the midst of polycrisis and meta-crisis, but also thinking beyond and really empowering ourselves. What does it mean? What's in the DNA? What's the opportunities? And obviously, this links right into our Wicked Opportunities podcast.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to talk about this in a moment. Our brand new one-day offering that we're going to be launching this year, the Wicked Opportunities offering.
Yeah. I just, I think that it's helpful to take a step back a little bit and just talk about, what the Wicked Opportunities brand means to us and why we have that as something separate from TFSX or Kedge or even our framework of natural foresight. So Wicked Opportunities for us has always been the part of our offerings and our approach that speaks to helping people meet complexity head on and feel empowered to do so.
Yeah, in a positive way. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whether that was through our podcast, where we talked about flipping wicked problems on their head to create wicked opportunities, and how foresight and the mindsets within futures thinking can help us do that and solve our long-standing problems, because the original name Wicked Opportunities obviously comes from the term wicked problems.
Right.
For those of you that may not have been around for that long, wicked problems are complex problems that when we attempt to solve them, we create 3 more problems, and we're surrounded by wicked problems, and we're often paralyzed by them, or we just attempt futile solutions that just move us incrementally, maybe in the wrong direction. We don't even know. So it's our belief and our experience that fueling our work with foresight, building mindsets that are futuristic, allow us to take these wicked problems and see them in a whole different way, and realize that the reason why we have these complex problems that we're so frustrated by is not because of complexity, but because of our outdated mindsets, toolkits, and perspectives. So at its core, Wicked Opportunities is about sort of looking at complexity in a much more opportunistic lens, optimistic lens, and with foresight as our sort of operating system. Wicked Opportunities podcast has always been our time to be able to just talk freely. I always talk about it as like, if someone had a microphone in our office. I mean, honestly, I wish sometimes that, okay, not all the time, that our conversations were recorded, because I think that the podcast is the closest thing to that. And a lot of times people are drawn to our practice and to our sessions and to us as partners, because we do just try to stay very level-headed and not put ourselves on a pedestal. And so the podcast for us was a way to scale one-on-one coaching that just wasn't physically possible for us to do. And anyone can listen to that podcast. It's free. It's always been free. It will always be free. Right. So, and then
I think it's a playmaking space too.
Yeah.
This needs to be super important more as we go forward. It's like, even that this is why the Halloween edition is so fun, because we just get to play.
Well, I was just going to say,
and in Wicked Opportunities podcast, we just get to play.
Yeah. And I was going to say the live stream took that concept of the podcast to even more so, because it's live and, I can only script you so much. And I feel like I've really leaned into this live stream concept. I mean, I know the kids have been doing it for a long time. We've been doing it now for a minute too. I still get a little bit anxious, and I don't know why, because I speak to thousands of people all the time,
all the time.
but it's just I think there's just this whole, like, there's no safety net when it's just live going out into the ether. But yeah, this is where the live stream is where we're like completely unfettered, right? Which is sometimes dangerous. And then of course the trend cards facilitate a lot of these conversations.
Yes,
And um, for people don't know this, but originally Wicked Opportunity was created as a program,
that's right.
as a standalone program. And we've hosted it. We've hosted it at Disney Imagineering. We've hosted it at conferences. We've hosted it within clients. It was actually purchased on a licensing agreement by the CIA. So the Wicked Opportunities program has been, done. And we've been focusing on other things, and so we're excited to say, let's bring back that experience of Wicked Opportunities, which is, like all of our offerings, hands-on, tangible, but within a day. So it's a much more sort of truncated, focused offering that I think speaks to where people are right now in their desires to get, very specific learning at a very specific time,
Yep.
And so that Wicked Opportunities experience that you were just referring to will be a one-day experience.
Yes.
And we've actually put the call out
Hmm.
to get partners. I
Just
think
this past week.
Emily can drop it in the chat, that link for people that are interested in seeing how we're reaching out to our community. If you would like us to come to your community and host this one-day program next year, drop us a line. You'll see the form. Emily will drop it in the chat. And what?
This is exciting.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure because the whole wig was doing
Playing
something.
along with you here.
Yeah, so yeah, we're looking for partners that have a built-in community, that think that this type of offering is going to be useful to them, that maybe has space where we can host this program. And we could chat more with you about what that looks like. But if this sounds exciting to you, if you've been waiting for an opportunity to partner with us, you just didn't know sort of where to start or how to make Foresight a reality for your community, please reach out. The response we've gotten so far has been overwhelming, like literally overwhelming. So we're really excited to bring this out. This one-day program will leverage the trend cards that we're developing, will be practical, will be hands-on, and within a day will allow participants to imagine solutions to their real-world problems and develop not just incremental solutions,
That's right.
but transformative ones.
Super important. And I was going to say that earlier because in the field, and some of you have probably heard me say this before, and Becky says the wig keeps getting better and better. I don't know what wig she's talking about.
Yeah.
That we often hear in the Foresight field, think exponentially and act incrementally.
Right.
But what that really insinuates, and I think facilitates too, is that just keep thinking that the way we're going, if we just 10x it or 20x it, that will be the future.
I don't want to 20 or 10x where we've been. Or where we are. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
Look, I'm an
I'll
optimist.
tell you the truth. I don't want to 10x any of it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe
it's
you
like,
don't agree with me. That's my opinion. It's a personal opinion.
Look, I have hope. I'm optimistic. I'm excited about the future, but I know it's going to require change, and it's not going to be doubling, tripling, or quadrupling down on what we're already doing.
That's right.
It's just not. It's just not.
And so that's why when you think about the future ready bucket, and you'll see a lot of this next year because
you hear a lot about, like, are you future ready? Are you future ready?
Yeah.
Are you future ready? Right. And I think we might have a definition of future ready. Maybe Emily, you could drop what future ready, how we define that in the chat. This is super early on, friends. We're still like developing this framework.
Did you know that the girl from The Ring also has an Apple Watch?
Apple is It's intense how
She
far it
got it off
reaches.
of the body of one of the
Did
people
it
that she
work
visited.
in the
So
well? Did it work in the
it's
well?
relatively new. I try to take it off in the well so that it doesn't get waterlogged.
Hmm.
But they say it's waterproof. So
But you hear, I mean, future ready on its face sounds good. Like I want to be future ready.
yes.
Or sometimes you hear even something else. You hear future proof.
Yeah, and that's what I don't want to be is future proof.
Yeah. And say why you don't want to be future proof.
Well, future proofing, as a matter of fact, there is an article coming out very soon
Yes.
where we talk about this year will be um, really promoting more this idea of future ready, future empowered, and future conscious. And all of our offerings fit in one or multiple of those buckets.
Yes.
And so on one end, I'm getting to the future proof thing in a
Yeah.
second. You've got future ready, and this is really the tools, the methodologies, the skills of foresight go into, a company and use foresight, right? Or organization or government or whatever. And then I'll skip over the future empowered because that's what we're talking about here today in the empowerment collection.
Yes.
Future conscious is way at the other end of the spectrum where we're really talking about the holoptic foresight dynamics, the dragonfly, the concept of cooperative evolutionary consciousness as a means to anticipating what's emerging more. If you don't know about that as much, and that sounds exciting to you, it should. I hope it does. We'll say this again before today's podcast is over, but we got an exciting December 10th webinar coming up on that. And it's free. The first webinar is free, so we'll be talking all about the future conscious part. But going all the way back before future ready, there might be this idea of future proofing. And we are not fans of that concept of future proofing at all.
We're not.
And it means basically, if you think about it at its core, if you didn't hear somebody define it, you would say it must mean, how do I get ready to make sure the future doesn't come get me? I'm proofed against the future.
Yeah.
And actually, most definitions say that. People that are talking about future proofing are heavily into risk management. How do I avoid the disruptions of the future? How to continue on the path I'm on? And that's just not realistic. It's not how reality works. It's not how the world works. So we don't like that term. We start with future ready. We understand future readying people with skills and methodologies. And then there's this middle part, future empowerment, which is sort of the bridge between future ready and future conscious. So that we're talking about, in reality, when we think about innovation and what's in the DNA of our organizations, what we're not seeing, what we haven't drawn out yet in a transformative way, that is also practical and tactical.
Yeah.
How do we get there in our organizations? How do we leverage what we're not even seeing right now to become more than we are?
Yeah.
But we already own it. It's in our DNA. That's what Future Empowered is really all about. That's why we're doing an entire empowerment collection of the Wicked Opportunities podcast. That's why we're launching a one-day Wicked Opportunities, which actually has existed for a long time already, but we're going to dive deeper into that. We're launching and trying to partner with people this one-day Wicked Opportunities offering, which will follow this future empowered way of thinking, where we actually sense make, pattern make, look at implications, and then walk our way up this transformative mapping to suss out the DNA of what's in our organization so that we can become more than what we've been.
Yeah.
It's all one big bubble, all connected. That's
Yeah.
why the empowerment collection is going to be next year's collection
Yeah.
on this podcast. And you'll hear us talking about more every time that we have a podcast about the Wicked Opportunity sessions that are going on, and future ready, future empowered, future consciousness. And but even that's just a sliver of what we're doing next year.
So we're going to publish an article here probably in early December. But again, just to recap, we don't love the future proof language. We'll talk about it in this article just briefly, just because it's been used, but we really want to focus on the concepts of future ready, future empowered, and future conscious. And there's not one that's better than the other. And people ebb and flow out of all three.
Right.
So
exactly.
as we think about our offerings and our services and what we're passionate about, future ready is about the tools, the methods, the skills of foresight and futures thinking, making sure that our organizations are equipped and that we're equipped to leverage foresight. This is probably, from a training perspective, what we're most well known for, probably where you would imagine foundations would sit. and certification. Those are really important aspects of what we do and what we'll continue to do. We're talking a lot today about Future Empowered because our Wicked Opportunities offerings all fall under the Future Empowered umbrella. This is about, really thinking intentionally about the intrinsic competency of futures thinking across ourselves and across our institutions and communities, really discovering the untapped potential and those new pathways that are just hidden from us because maybe we're just not looking in the right place. We have the DNA. We just need to understand how to uncover it, how to transform it, so that we can continue to promote people, purpose, what's our fundamental practice within these organizations and communities that we serve.
We've actually been doing this Wicked Opportunities program for years, but we sort of like it would float on the periphery. And, we did different things over the past years. They've different themes. We're, thank you, Becky. Love this framing. We're excited that we're sort of putting even more parameters around this.
Yeah,
I don't mean framing.
I think
it's
just
not a barrier.
It's a little bit of structure because I think that someone looking at TFSX, Kedge, however you know us, on one end we're offering spiritual retreats.
Yeah, we have some people that know us for nothing but that.
Yeah.
And
then on the other end,
we're
known for establishing the largest foresight competency within a organization across the globe, specifically Disney, and we've done it repeatedly with other organizations across the globe.
Yes.
So I mentioned Future Ready, Future Empowered. I just want to touch on Future Conscious, which you did, but I just want to touch how it refers back.
We haven't really talked about the upcoming webinar either.
Right. So Futures Consciousness is really about thinking about it more than just a discipline, a set of tools, or skills. Future Consciousness is where we talk about foresight being a biological, psychological, and sacred dynamic of living things, and that we are nature and that nature's anticipatory, and how can we continue to cultivate our natural ability, our innate ability to think about and act on the future. As it relates to our offerings, you'll see Future Consciousness come in, of course, in our retreats that Frank, if he had his way, would offer every month.
I would.
But we just don't.
I'm not gonna lie.
We don't have the physical.
My goal is eventually that we're going to have a retreat center of our own in some beautiful place, like maybe
only if you wear that wig.
Catskills.
Only if you wear that
somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's for a later date. Right now, we just do the retreat every other year physically.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing is,
we're not going to just leave it just for that every, once a year, once every 2 years physical retreat. I mean, let's be clear. Let's just stop here and say we've held the retreat twice, but you've been talking and we've been sharing about holoptic foresight dynamics
for 15 years.
Yeah. So this is not a new idea. It's now manifested in a physical experience for people, but it's always been
just amazing.
Right. But it's the philosophy that undergirds natural foresight. Yeah. So if you've learned natural foresight in one of our programs, just know HFD fueled that, right? Fuels that framework. And so, I'm really excited because not everyone, we can't offer the retreat every month, and we'd love to offer it all around the world, but it's very difficult. Not everyone can travel to it, but everyone deserves to have this experience and to learn, this HFD approach, holoptic foresight dynamics, the dragonfly's eye. How are we going to make it more accessible to everyone?
We are going to have a year-long community of practice.
I love this.
That launches on December 10th. With a free 90-minute webinar. We already have 100 people signed up. Of course, that doesn't mean everybody will necessarily come, but the more people that sign up, the more the percentage of people we might get.
Yes.
We will. Well, I'm going to leave that to the side. I was going to say something more.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was, but don't do it.
I'm not doing it.
If you're filtering yourself.
Yeah, that's rough. If I'm filtering it, then it must.
Then.
Yeah. It's don't worry. You'll all hear about it.
Secret. I got a secret.
So December 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And Emily is dropping some of that in.
She dropped it before, but she could
drop it before. Okay.
She can drop it again.
Okay.
There it is.
Dropped it again. You have to register for this because obviously it's a Zoom meeting and we won't know to send you the Zoom link if you're not registered. And I know we have a couple of people, or at least one in here I can see that's watching us live right now that has been to one of our transformation retreats before. And during that time, we're going to hear from alumni at the Transformations Retreats, people who are already incorporating holoptic foresight dynamics, the philosophy of a more integrated, evolutionary, cooperative, emergent, natural way of looking at foresight and a less methodological, skill-based. There's nothing wrong with all of that. But if you're your methodologies and your skills are going to follow the philosophy you already have.
Yep. It's all of these things. That's why I said it's not a hierarchy.
If your philosophy is linear, mechanistic, you don't even know it, but you're following sort of the dominant narrative, you're going to miss the richness of the fact that foresight is a biological, psychological, and sacred dynamic of all living things.
Yeah.
And the dragonfly knows best.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Frank? Join us December 10th to find out. And during that time, we're going to announce what the rest of the year of the community of practice will look like, because every other month we'll meet, but in between there'll be homework to watch videos and things, which we will gather to then collectively discuss, not a one-way conversation. And we will cover the different parts of the definition of HFD all year long and talk about how the community expands. Of course, we'll even have feedback from people that are attending our year-long community practice on what the next retreat can look like, what elements we could add to that retreat.
I love this experience. If you all have, and I know many of you have,
we should wear wigs.
Yeah,
to everything we do, Becky.
The wig thing has come up several times, even in the foundations program we're facilitating right now.
We had somebody wear a wig yesterday.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say is that if you all, and I know many of you have enjoyed any of the Creating Foresight Fueled Action interviews that Frank has held over the last several years, whether it's Nora Bateson or just a number of other amazing intellectual scholars, thought leaders in the transformation space, in the adjacent spaces, in the spaces that make us think differently. If you've enjoyed any of those conversations and you just wished you had been in the room when it was going on, this is your shot, because Frank will be sharing sort of the backstage aspects of it. What was he thinking? Why did he ask what he asked? What was he thinking when Nora Bateson said the not suitable for work thing that she said in her last? I don't even think I could say it on this because I don't want to, but
you could tell him though it's the song WAP.
Yes. So
WAP, it stands for something.
Yeah, let's not.
But Nora actually made that into something that was like,
yes,
she has a very serious,
no, for reals. No.
And it's heavy. Of course, she talked about the dragonfly.
Just, I'm purview to what he was thinking when she said it. Right after he came out of the studio having recorded, I was there and got to hear from him. And so if you've ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes, what Frank was thinking, what he thought when they shared what they shared, what your thoughts were, if you're listening to this Creating Foresight Fueled Action, you're wishing you could offer your 2 cents in.
That's right.
This dragonfly experience journey is absolutely for you.
Yep.
And we hope that you join us in December to find out a bit more. And that's, future consciousness. So future consciousness is all about holoptic foresight dynamics, our retreat. But in the meantime, we want to make it more accessible. Obviously, it's all of these conversations you've had and all of the writings you've done as well. But this experience that we're launching next year is going to be a great way for people to participate and feel, as one, as the dragonfly.
That's the whole point. If it's not a true community of practice, it's missing the point of the dragonfly's many-eyed whole.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is yet, come join on December 10th. We're going to talk all about it.
All right. So let's recap.
Yeah.
All right. Because we've talked about a lot of things. We're excited about next year. We are hopeful about what's happening in the next few days here in the United States. And we're ready to turn the page, like many of the folks here. Frank and I had a wonderful experience this week. We had the opportunity to go to DC and attend one of Kamala's rallies, and it was a very unique rally.
Yep.
It was,
Just 24 hours ago, we
yeah,
were standing with 75,000 plus people,
in
which
the
is
shadow of the
pretty
Washington
crazy.
Monument. And so I mentioned that because if you know us, you know that we lead with hope. And I think there's a lot of nervous energy right now, especially on the,
Sure.
on the upcoming election. And we thought no better time than the Halloween episode to say, we're not afraid. We're not afraid of monsters. We're not afraid of the future. We're not afraid of next year, because we know everything that has been put in motion is moving in the right direction, that we all innately have the ability to think this way, and that we're going to position the folks that are part of our community to be future ready, to be future empowered, and to be future conscious.
Oh, that's exciting. I love it. I can't wait for 2025. But in between here and there, we know that you all are excited about celebrating the holidays. I hope you are.
Yeah.
Whatever holidays there are around
Yeah,
the world, because I know that
absolutely.
this time of year seems
This
to be
kicks
holidays
off.
for
This Halloween usually after
in the
you
US at least.
literally you it's Halloween, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, Happy New Year. How did
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
this
true.
is the fast.
Today's
And
the day.
we're going to be in Brazil for a week between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, doing a little bit of wicked opportunities kind of
Yeah.
esque.
Yes. Yeah. That's a part what sort of inspired us to
That's
say.
right.
So again, next year, be on the lookout for future ready content. This is our traditional foundations training. By the way, our certification window opens up again here in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
If you're interested in certification, whether you've been through our programs or not, it doesn't matter. You can be eligible. This is a industry-wide credential, field-wide credential. So if you've been to the IFTF program, we love that IFTF program, Houston's program,
Sure.
Copenhagen's program, all of those grant you
Sohail's
eligibility. Sohail's program, all of those grant you eligibility. Even the Coursera course grants you eligibility. I encourage you to look into getting certified. The window opens up here in a few weeks. You could apply at any time. So join us for that. That's our Future Ready. That'll continue. And we're excited to continue to offer live online programming for our foundations. We got one going on right now, and it's amazing. We're talking about the future of well-being. So we're going to figure out our focal issues for next year pretty soon. So then Future Empowered is what we've been talking about a lot in this podcast. It's all wicked opportunities. And not only are trend cards coming out next year, we'll be bringing back the podcast where we talk about that. We talk about how to leverage these trends for your own transformational outcomes and your firm and your organization's transformational outcomes. We're going to be debuting or bringing back, I guess I should say, because we've had a one-day program before, but we're bringing back a one-day Wicked Opportunities program.
Exciting.
That is going to come hopefully to a city near you. And if you want to partner with us on that, there's a form on our site to help you get in touch with us about how we can partner to bring that one-day program to your community. We're excited to be traveling next year and doing that. And then lastly, if you're looking for a community of practice around futures consciousness and making foresight the natural ability that it already is, and bringing that forth and understanding the dragonfly's eye and how
growing that community worldwide,
then join us. December 10th is our free first webinar. It'll be a year-long community of practice. The price point on that is extremely low.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention earlier. It's like, obviously the retreat, you look at the price point on that, and it includes 3 days of gourmet meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and your lodging and everything, so when you break that down, it's like it's cheap too. But this is like ridiculous.
We're gonna have the dragonfly's eye be incredibly accessible to everyone who wants to join. Again, the December webinar is completely free. Come check it out. And we want you to hear from alumni that have had the experience of HFD and the dragonfly's eye. They're going to tell you firsthand what it meant to them, and what it can mean to you. So if that speaks to you, we'd love to see you there. We're going to talk transformation. We're going to talk about, that natural element. So yeah, lots coming. And if I know us, we'll probably come up with 12 more ideas.
Oh, we will.
by
That's,
next
yep,
week.
that's right.
And right now the team is like wishing they could mute us because this is how we roll around here.
I was
Again,
thinking Emily's like, what are you talking about? Emily has left the building.
yeah, really. Just remember too that Ask a Futurist project, that synthesis, that you all did a phenomenal job answering those questions
You're
and
gonna
asking your
love this outcome.
It
It's
is so good.
just
It is so good.
amazing
And there might also be,
and so useful.
and there might also be next year, very short after this year starts, another book that we're going to publish and release,
Yep.
a foresight implementation playbook.
Ooh.
So helping with future readiness. So we got lots in the mix here for the rest of this year and certainly looking into 2025. But, we're excited to be with you all today on Frank's high holy day of Halloween. And we're happy that you all, made time to join us today. We're really, really excited. And oh, you're back to being creepy again. So there's that. There's that.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
I'm trying to think of what we didn't talk about. If there's something else that you wanted to chat about, because I know you have to go because you have to finish setting up your whole Halloween thing.
There has to be some lunch first. So.
Yeah, I am hungry, so
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Well, wherever you are, we
Even
hope
Samara gets hungry. So.
Yeah, yeah. If you're in the States, I hope you're having a wonderful, happy Halloween. You'll be having a safe one. If you don't celebrate Halloween, I hope you're having a great Thursday. And this wasn't too weird at the end of the day. And and yeah, you'll hear more about Future Ready, Future Empowered, and Future Conscious in short order. And again, thank you all for being such an amazing part of our Foresight community. We can't wait to share more with you in the coming weeks and months. Take care, everybody. Happy Halloween, Frank.
Happy Halloween.